Blue Rose Paper Treasures, and I'm doing a weekly Facebook Live where I take an old card and I update it with current products. And this week I'm remaking the crisscross card. It's a portrait one. It was an old workshop of mine, and it's simply a nice little card, a pocket card with a belly band, if I can get it off. Sorry, my hands are cold again. With a belly band and an insert. So I'll take you through, I won't show you, I'll let you get surprised at what I do. I was a bit disappointed. I always check to see if my products are current before I remake them, because I went and pulled out the lace and I thought, oh, I better check. We don't have lace in our catalogue anymore, so I've had to replace the lace with something else. Not as nice, but we do what we can with current products. So we will get started. Okay, don't worry about taking down dimensions and everything. I've got a handout that I will put on there for you, so you don't need to worry about writing anything down. Alright, so the first part we do is we make the actual card base. And I'll put that out of there because I don't need that. The first part is doing the card base, and it's simply 2 pieces of, I just use basic white, it doesn't need to be thick. 2 pieces 8 by 5.5 and scoring 4 on the long side. And because I'm very particular, I like to trim them at the same time, so there's 2 pieces in there. So we want 5.5. As long as you've got a nice sharp blade in there. 5.5 by 8. That way I know I've got 2 pieces exactly the same size. And I'm actually going to score it at the halfway mark at 4. Give that a bit of a, so it goes through both layers. And then while I've still got them together, we need to trim the triangle off it. I hope you can see that. So while they're still together, I'm going to trim the triangle off the front. Did. And that can be used for stamping and die cutting. Alright, so that's the first part. So we grab a bone folder and we fold one over one way, and I just sort of go around the edges because sometimes my trimmer's a little bit, makes it a bit rough when I'm trimming a couple of layers. So that'll be your left one, and this will be the right one. Whoops. Oh, didn't quite score it through. That's it. Just give it a bit of a, oh, that doesn't look right. Oh, doesn't quite look right. So, and then all you need to do is tape one on top of the other, and there you have your card base. So, oh, of course I didn't have glue ready, did I? Right. So, just pop a bit of glue on it. And then just attach one on top of the other. And there's our card done. So we'll put the panels on first before we secure it all. So there's the base done. Second part is the panels. And I've used crumb cake. And it's 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Yep, right. And cut diagonally again. Doesn't matter which way you cut this. but it does matter if you're using designer series paper or pattern paper, because we're going to use the reverse of one. All right, because we can't use that, so we're going to turn one over. All right, so that's why it's important to have not have a pattern that's either top to bottom. If you have like a random pattern, you can turn it over and use both sides. Alright, so the first thing I do before I start doing all my stamping is make sure that these are cut properly. Are we still recording? Yep. Alright, the first thing, just make sure that they're cut properly so they'll fit on those panels. Always check before you do all the hard work. And they're both perfect, so that's fine. So that'll be that one and that one. Now on the original one, I can't remember what I used. Very Versailles, I think it was. I used the Very Versailles. But today, I'm going to use Ranunculus Romance. And I'm just going to randomly stamp using... Oh, I've got the stamps already. I'm going to randomly stamp some of the images using crumb cake and basic black, a memento. If I get my crumb cake, I'm just going to take the floral images. So the images that I've used is that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. I've pretty much used everything out of that set. So I'm just going to randomly stamp in memento. On both sides. Now remembering that one side is going to be partially covered over, so planning on where I'm going to put. So the bottom half of that triangle is going to be covered up, so you don't really need to see how I haven't stamped on the original one, because it's going to be covered up. But I'm guessing that might be enough in there. I'll shove another one in because it was already inked up. And then I used the scripty one with the crumb cake and making sure it's up the right way. Sometimes I stamp off. I don't know how much of that's going to be seen there. And do the other side. Okay, glad I did that straight too. And then I'm just going to grab the two little images, the little, the stamp one of the Eiffel Tower. And once again, just randomly stamping it. And I'll add a couple of the little postage stamp thing. I think that's what that one is. Making sure it's up the right way. Yep, that'll be enough. And that's all we do. And now, oh, no, we're not ready yet. The next thing we have to do, because I didn't have ribbon, I have actually found a die. Now, of course, this is a really long side of it. You need a really long die. I looked at all my border dies, and the only one that I found that was actually long enough to fit on that, because I didn't have... I tried a few ribbons and the ribbons didn't work. So this was the Tropical Layers dies. And that was one of the longest die I had. I tried lots more. And I simply cut two of them. It was just a length that was 1/2 inch. And when I die cut it, I put the pointy end right along one side, so that I had a little bit there, which is what I've done there. So, showing you this one, we don't need to put it all the way down there. Oh gosh, these are old, that's probably why they're fallen apart. So, we attach the first one, and I'll grab my glue. And I'm just going to run it along the edge. And find my tweezers. And it just fits with trimming a tiny bit off the top. Alright, so that was my solution since I couldn't find that we didn't have any lace left in our collection. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a baby wipe. Oh, sorry. Oops. Line it up. And then just trim the excess off. And that would be the same way you'd attach it if you want to use lace. So that one's done. So where's our card base gone? Where's it gone? Here it is. Alright, so that one's fine. That can now get attached to there. So just pop that on there. So you really only need it to go to around about where that little stamp is. So grab the other one. So from about here, and just add the other one. Snip it off. And now they can get attached. So this one is going to go on that side. And when that folds over, we're right. We've got it long enough so that you can't see it. See where the see where it ends. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the light. Open. Oh, that one's on. I'm a big tweezers person. I'd be lost if I ever lost those tweezers. Okay, so there's and there we have it. So to close those up, you obviously want that open. So I'm just going to put, I've got some of this, you need a very thin tape, like 3/8 of an inch. I'm just going to put a tiny bit flush with the bottom. You don't want too much in there, otherwise you'll make a really short insert. Right, so, and you've seen me use this stuff before, it's impossible to get off. Oh, goodness gracious. I'd love to do a Facebook Live one day where nothing goes wrong. There's nothing worse than you watching me trying to get the tape off. There we go, got it. Alright, so that one will go across there. And then we just need a bit of tape down there and across the bottom. But I haven't got time to take that off, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue there. The main important thin bit is the one on the bottom. This one's fine. Oh, and a little bit down there. And that's it. All done. So there's our card base done. So that's that bit done. So the next bit we make is the insert, and this is very simple. It's just one piece of crumb cake, 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. That's not right, that's the wrong piece of paper. Here it is. 5 1/4 by 3 3/4 and basic white. So what we're going to do is we're going to test this one first before we cut the other piece, because depending on how much tape you've put down there, we want to make sure this is actually going to go in there in case we have to shorten it a bit. Alright, so that's really good. You see that? That's fitting in nice. It could probably be trimmed a tiny bit, but always test that it's going to go in far enough so it's not hanging out the front, out the top. So that was the original one. So I'm going to do something similar on the white piece. This time using, I was actually lucky that the stamp set I chose had a nice border in it. So I hope I'm not going too fast. Now I can't see directly over that without putting my head in the camera, so I'm just going to wing it and hope that that's about right. Alright, the same thing. I'm going to grab, whoop, now I'll put that in the pink. Whoops, don't do that. Going to pop some of the scripty, I'm not sure what this is, but if you don't want it that dark, you can always stamp off and do a lighter one. Alright, once again, where the memento go, I'm going to pop some of these in here. And another one. And just randomly, whatever you feel like putting in there. Alright, so that's all the stamping for that bit. I'm going to do the same sort of thing, and for this I'm using, I can't remember what this punch is called, but it'll, I can't remember what it's called, sorry, but it's, I've used both of those because that was the old layering oval dies that I used to make that. So, and I know for a fact that I have die cut the pink bit, right, so there's the pink one. And my little stamp set here, I've used one of the greetings out of that. I used Just For You out of the Untitled Chapter. I tried to use just one stamp set. Yep, upside down, of course, but that's all right. I have to do it upside down, so I hope that's right. Alright, Just For You. We'll tape that on, attach that. And attach that. So there's still room there to write a greeting, or you can do it on the back. Add another piece of basic white on the back so you can write on the back of it. And there we have it. So now we have, whoop, we probably should attach it to that piece and do one last check that it fits in. Rightio. I smudged a bit of ink on there. Just always checking. Yep, that fits in beautifully. And you can still see the Just For You through there. Alright, so to put the little eyelet thing on there with the ribbon through it, I actually found, what's the other set I used? Tailor-made tags, I think it was the tailor-made tag dies. They've got these little tag topper bits in there, and I actually used the round one, and I've still got some great crumb cake ones in there. So if I can find my pokey thing, I'm just going to use one of those. Whoop, one of those, and that is just simply going to go on the top. But first I'm going to use my really, really old, look at this, it actually hurts when you touch it, just a single eye hole that's that size. I'm going to pop that on there first. And if you haven't got one, you can just use a paper piercer to put a hole in it. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the outside. I find it easy to put it on there than trying to put it on that little die cut. Yep. And I I've got some pink ribbon. This is, what is it? Frayed Gross Grain ribbon. I think it's currant, it may not be. What colour is it? It's Blushing Bride. Okay, I'm just going to try and thread a bit through there. And then I grab my white twine. And this is always fun trying to do, isn't it? Especially when your hands are freezing cold. Oh, goodness. Snip them a little bit. And just tie a little bow on that. All done. So now that will go inside the card, and you can trim. Oops. And there you have it. So the last part is the belly band. So if I put this card all back together, if I can actually find it. Alright, so that card goes in there. And this is the little belly band that I made for it. I think this was using the magnolia dies, I think, if I remember correctly. Well, oh, I'm not going to get that back on there now, because it's, oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going to make a little belly band. I just wing it. There's no rhyme or reason to making a belly band. The one I made, here it is. Belly band, I just sort of think, 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/2 inch. 1 1/2 inch is good for a belly band for a card. It might be a bit wide, maybe 1 1/4. Yep, that's a bit better. 1 1/4. And right, you don't want the join at the back, you want the join at the front. So I just start off halfway around the front, go around, not too tight. And just pinch it with the fingers. And you want a little bit of overlap. Right, so you can attach that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on that. Oh, I don't know why, but I'm having trouble with this tape runner. That's not going to work. Oh, look what I found in my stash, one of the old ones, one of the old snails. Oh, God, even that's not working. Why isn't my tape working today? Oh, goodness. There we go, got one. Normally I would put something a little bit more secure on there. But I say don't want it too tight that you can't slide it off. Alright, next we have... I'm going to put some layering circles on the top of that. No, sorry, one step before that. I wanted to cover that with a little strip. Once again, there's no exact dimensions for this. So I don't have a ruler here. Of course I don't. Alright. So depending, you'll need to just measure it roughly. So I would say 3 7/8. 3 7/8, and I did that 1 1/4, didn't I? So maybe 1 1/8. And I didn't measure that right, did I? 3 7/8. Try that. Yep, beautiful. And I just stamped on each side of that the script here. You can put whatever you like on here. And just one on each side. I can't believe how straight I'm doing it, considering I'm not looking straight over the top of it. Attach that first. I'm nearly done. Just attach that across. Right, now we put the circles on, and I'm just going to run a bit of tape across there. One bit of glue. I use everything. I've got glue dots and tape runners and liquid glue, depending on what I'm attaching. Alright, nearly there. The last couple of things, I'm going to stamp the flower because I want that in the centre. And to do that, I have got my basic black Stampin' Right marker and my, I think it's Blushing Bride, it should be Blushing Bride. And I'm just going to actually colour directly on the stamp with the Blushing Bride on the flowers. I think that was the only flowers on it, yep. And the rest of it, I'm going to use my black one. And this one's very juicy, this one. Now remember, don't use your Stampin' Blends because you'll never get the ink off it. So just use your Stampin' Right markers. And I'm hoping that this will stamp nicely. And I had a scrap of paper somewhere and it's gone. Here it is. Alright. That's one of the triangles I cut. Whoops. So, voila. Now you can get 2 tones. Could be done a bit better. There's a bit missing there, but that's all right. I'm going to die cut. That way. Do you believe I've had this little mini one for so long and I never use it? So I'm going to use it today, if I can remember how. Yep, so that goes on there. I like my magnetic plate on my old Big Shot, so that's why I just use that all the time. But for this one, I'm going to use the little mini cut and emboss. Oh goodness, my hands are so cold. Oh, look at it move. Alright, I've got some washi tape here. That I should have already had that ready. I'm just going to tape it down so it doesn't move. Oh, what have I done? It'll do. I hope that doesn't move. I hope I'm doing this right. Like I said, I don't use this very often. And we cross our fingers and hope that that die cut properly. not as accurate as if I had my head over the top of it and everything. Alright, so the flower is going to go in the middle, and the bow punch, I think this is, I'm going to cut a little bit of a punch. I'm trying to do it similar to the last one. I define current product. So if you look at that one, getting close. So I'm going to pop that one behind there. Use little ones if you like. Little ones. I use the big ones. One on higher. And there was one last thing. One of the dies, I just die cut a white one from behind. Done. So I'm going to cheat. Don't you do this at home, but this is the quickest way just to attach everything while alright, maybe one up there, one down a bit lower, white one, and the flower in the middle. Alright, don't you do that, don't you tape it like that, but just sort of to speed up the video. And that's it. That's my card done. So I'll show you the original. That was my sample, and that's what we ended up with. Still looks almost identical, just updating it with newer stamps, current products, different ribbon. We didn't have the lace, so I've just used a border die. And that's it, all done. What do you think of that? Pretty cool, eh? That's it. You can use the other punch bit. Want to put that one in there? That's too much. Just leave it like that. And that's my card for this week, all done. I probably went a little bit fast, but at least with Facebook Lives you can record it. So what I'll do is I will, the flyer that I made, I will, because when you're on a Facebook page, you can't attach files. You can only attach files to a Facebook group. So because I'm recording this on my page, I've made it as a JPEG. Probably won't be as crystal clear as if it was a proper PDF, but you'll get all the information that you need on the products that I used and the dimensions of everything. So that's it for me today. Did everybody get all that? Alright, so, and I will also upload this to YouTube. So be patient, give me a little while to set all this up, but everything will be there for you. Dimensions and products used, and yeah, so that's it for me today. I'll be back next Sunday. I don't know what I will do. Like I said, I'm just going through my box of thousands and thousands of cards and just seeing different things. I want to try something that's, you know, that maybe has a bit of a technique, or it's not just a straightforward cut and stick on a card. So I'm just trying to find something that's a little bit better. All right, that's enough for me today. I'll chat to you all soon. You got any questions, just send me a message. But yeah, so someone's just said, no, the dimensions won't be on YouTube. They'll be on my Facebook page. Where this video is, I will save this video to my Facebook page, and in the comments I will attach the instructions, the dummy sheet, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so don't panic, it will be there. Just give me a couple of minutes to set it all up. Okay, everyone, talk to you soon. Bye.